Greetings, I'm Rob Chappers.
And I'm the Captain.
And this is what happens when very clever people make wonderful products and listen to customers.
So, 2016 has been a kind of a cool year for people who are looking to buy a new affordable guitar amplifier, because almost everybody has launched something new with, you know, the Boss Katana that we've got here, and we've got Line 6 Spider 5 and Marshall Code and the new bigger Blackstar ID Core amplifiers. So, and I like the way it's panning out, really, because the market in that sort of more affordable price bracket now has everything from amplifiers like Orange Crush, which is like no digital, no nothing, just keep it old school.
Yes.
Through to amps like the Code or the new Spider, which have got your iPad apps and you can do all your mega jiggery pokery with that, and the sort of stuff in the middle. You got Blackstar doing their super wide stuff. Boss, I think the Katana. Now in this demo, Rob and I decided that I'm familiar with the amp. Rob's never even plugged it in before. So every reaction you see from Rob in this video is like the genuine initial reaction.
It's my first reaction. It's my first time.
So if it's all over in 23 seconds, that'll be why. So Katana, I think Katana is going to definitely appeal to perhaps the more experienced guitar player that's less interested in the sort of the you know, all the sort of the novelty of having millions of different knobs and buttons to switch, and just wants kind of something that's just got some basic good tones in it. So here we are, Boss Katana. It's awesome. It's super exciting because it's the right name. It's amazing pricing, which I'll come on to later. It's simple. It's just all about, let's just get you a good guitar sound. Let's not have Bluetooth and apps and all that kind of malarkey.
It's just a great amp. I would have killed for one of these when I was a 15-year-old kid shredding in my bedroom.
So I'll take you through the basics of this amplifier. So there are, you'll be pleased to know, only 5 basic guitar sounds in here, and one of those is an acoustic guitar. So really, if you just play electric guitar through, all you got to do is choose one of 4 basic sounds, which hopefully you can see on close-up cam, are called clean, crunch, lead, and brown. And if you're not familiar when we talk about brown, and actually that is a sort of a tone that they've taken from the Wazzer amp that they, you know, the mega expensive Wazzer amp. So brown is the sort of the sort of really pushed sort of late 70s Van Halen-y, Marshall-y kind of sound. And then clean, crunch, and lead are, you know, what you would expect them to be. Then it's just normal amp controls: gain, volume, bass, middle, treble, presence.
No option paralysis.
Yeah. Really, really simple. So what I've done is I've just dialed in a little bit of reverb, and I'm just going to take you through those kind of 3 sounds with Rob now. So let's, and again, I'll leave everything about 12 o'clock, and here we go. I should just say there, I wanted to turn off the delay.
So Annie did it glitched,
No. And I'm so used to literally having to go through 17 menus to try and work out how to turn the delay off. I completely forgot that all you do is turn the knob off. And that's how you turn it. So that was why you were seeing me going, and then realising. So yeah, I'm sorry though that you had a little bit of delay on that first bit. So now it's just reverb.
It's funny when things become simple that we look for the complex route because we're used to it.
I know, yeah.
That's just great. Can I have a little bit more reverb just to see what it's like?
Of course, yeah.
And have you got options on reverbs?
I'll tell you about that when we get to that.
It's just lovely, isn't
So
it?
nothing wrong with that. Let's go crunch. Here we go.
That sounds like Rage Against the Machine. That's great.
Yep, if you're wondering on close-up cam why we roll the bass off a little bit on these amplifiers, actually in the room, I'd probably have a little bit more bass end in there, but when we're recording, we take a little bit of the bass end off the amplifier just to stop the mic sounding too flabby. But, you know, that's how you'd always have an amp set slightly different for like a home thing than you would for recording. But anyway, here's lead. And finally, brown.
Oh, that's great. I mean, I'm just going to swear, but I decided not to at the last minute in case YouTube destroyed me. But that's absolutely amazing.
If you're, rather than us spend a lot of time on the cleaner sounds as well, Pete Honore and I did a video of this on Andertons TV where we kind of stayed on the clean setting, and we say in that video that we'll do more with the drive settings with Rob, obviously, in this video. So if you want a sort of a rounded view of everything, just watch both videos.
Can I request a few alterations to those tones then?
So sure, well, look, shall I just whiz through the rest of the features
Yeah,
and then you'll know everything? So one of the things that we were super impressed about this when we tried it, and again, where Boss were keen to try to explain how they've done it, is I think digital amplifiers from 2 or 3 years ago were had real output problems. So, you know, they were 100 watts on paper or whatever like that. But you know, the digital power amps and the cheap speakers they were using, whatever, just couldn't move enough air to really sound like a proper 100 watt amplifier. This is a 100 watt 1x12. This is a beast, and this is loud. I mean, and it doesn't crap out. You know, this just sounds great in its 100 watt full
because it's
mode.
Boss, and that's why.
Yeah, that, in all fairness, that's a theme actually I'm seeing on other similarly priced sort of modelling amplifiers as well. To be fair, they're really sort of nailing that the louder ones. So yeah, we said before we had a really simple EQ. Now, when we get into the effects section, and that's probably what Boss are best known for, not even probably, obviously that's what they're best known for. So built into the amp are 3 really, really, really simple ways of adding effects. So you've got 3 buttons across the top here. One which does your boost or modulation effect. One that does a delay or an alternative effect, and one that does reverb. Each button has 3 kind of colours on it. So you've got green, red, and amber. And you literally turn it on or off by just turning the knob up like you would expect to. Now, built into the amplifier, and I've got my little crib sheet here. I'll just share this with Rob. So built into the amplifier, it just says if you just use this out the box with as it is, you've got 3 kinds of booster pedal, like pedals you would put in front of the amplifier that you can dial in. You've got a chorus, a flanger, a phaser. You've got various types of delay, digital, analog, and tape echo. You've got some tremolo, touch wire, and octave, and then you've got 3 different types of reverb. Really, really easy to add in. So, for example, if we went back to, say, a crunch tone, a low-gain crunch tone like this, and we put a blues driver in front of that,
it's ridiculous.
It's just like putting a little drive pedal on the floor in front of it.
Because it probably is.
Yeah, it probably is. However, and this is about the only sort of technological thing that you would ever do with your Katana amplifier. If you USB connect this to a computer, there are all 55 Boss compact pedals that you can decide to assign. So you don't have to have the ones that come in as standard.
It can be any of the
So you can kind of go,
pedals?
I'd rather have these ones, please.
Oh my God.
So really, really simple to do. And, some people will, some people won't, but that's the effect.
Right.
Personally, I don't think I'd ever get bored of just using the effects that are in here. But I guess if you wanted something different, you could do that.
Yeah.
So you want it. So we'll design you a sound in a minute, but I'll just do the last 2 or 3 controls. So there's a master presence control, a master volume control. Then you've got your power output control, and that's something again that's been imported direct from Blues Cube, which is not only so you can go from a standby mode, so you can just direct DI output record from it. You've got a 0.5 watt mode, a 50 watt mode, and a 100 watt mode on this.
And does that recreate what the power valves would be doing?
It's both. So it limits the maximum output that the amp can make. So if you go into 0.5 watt mode, it's kind of impossible to annoy your neighbours in that mode. But it also emulates the sort of dynamic that a power amp would have.
Right,
Depending
so
if
you
it
get a
was
little bit more
in 50
headroom on
or-
the higher. Right,
Yeah.
okay.
So I've been using this in 50 watt mode for the demo, but you don't have to if you don't. We could change that. That's the sort of thing that's more of a feel thing for the player. It doesn't really.
But that's
come
important,
across Yes,
we
really
feel
important.
things.
It's got a cool little flip out thing underneath here, which I can't really use because I'll mess up the microphones, but there's a little foot underneath here that just drops down and then it tilts the amp up a little bit.
It's a pub gigging genius, isn't it, really?
Absolutely. And then you've got 4, it is 4, isn't it? Then you've got 4 inbuilt preset patches that you can create and save to recall. And let me just see, are they multicolor as well? No, right, so it is just 4 basic sounds. And there's an optional foot switch that you can buy for this that will allow you to recall those 4
So I just
sounds.
thought I'd steal Peter Nore's 40th birthday beautiful custom shop telly.
And that, monsieur, is what's so great about the Katana amp. That's it.
It's great.
No, we're not reading manuals. We haven't had to spend like half a day with this to work out.
It's WYSIWYG and it's plug in and play.
And what I like about where everybody's going now with their brands, I genuinely don't think that there's a one amp that's the best for everybody.
No.
I think my personal opinion is that if you're at a stage of your guitar playing life where you're still on that discovery journey, what do all these amps sound like and what do all these pedals do and everything like that, maybe that's where some of the amps with the iPad apps and like 50,000 different things built into it would be more fun to use. If you're kind of like, I've sort of been on that journey and I kind of now actually what's more important for me is just I kind of know I only really need a couple of sounds and I know what they like and I just want something simple to use that's actually where there's perhaps more onus on the quality of the tone and less onus on the volume of features. I think that's where Katana is going to score. They've nailed the pricing, man. I tell you.
So what is it?
We first got this, I'm like, are you serious? So there's a 50 watt version of this in a combo, about the same sort of size.
Right.
165 quid.
That's absolutely insane.
The 100 watt
and it
one,
really is a 50 watt amp.
The 100 watt one, this thing here, I mean, I don't know.
So that's 100 watts, that's 250 quid.
That's 250 quid.
Right, there you
Get
go.
this though, this is the coolest thing. There's a 100 watt head.
Yeah, I know.
But did you know the cool feature about the head?
No.
It's got a speaker in the head.
What? What?
So obviously you get those memes where people show them.
Absolutely.
So they've
brilliant.
literally gone, if you don't want to plug your big 412 or 212 in,
right,
you can have the little Diddy speak. Obviously, it's going to sound, pretty
That's still
absolutely
crappy. Genius.
But yeah, for just like actually, do you know what? Yeah, I just need it for like not band rehearsal, but like a little bit of practice. Can't be bothered to plug the big cabin. How mental is that?
No.
There's a 212 combo, big 100-watt 212 combo, which is about 400 quid. So they're so affordable.
I'm really glad
insane.
that they did, because for me, they're so reliable. I mean, you shot them with arrows, set them on fire, and kick them and run them over, and they keep working, and they sound amazing.
Yeah.
This is such a level up as far as I'm concerned.
So I think, and again, this is just me putting sort of 2 and 2 together and going, it'd be kind of stupid if this didn't happen. I suspect you'll start to see the cube range disappear.
Well, this really is it.
Well, there isn't anything smaller than the 50 yet.
No.
So if the cube, I guess, is still going to be a popular amp for guys that are looking for the 10.
Although for that
and the
price
15
range, you can like 1 watt the 50 watt.
Wow, for
combo,
sure.
So then there you go, you're done.
It's just I mean, that's a great point. I mean, £165 is like, who in their right mind isn't going to find the extra 50 quid to go from like the little 10 and 20 watt ones?
I was going to ask you to get me some tones, but I really think you should get some tones.
Well, no, because I've played it. Go and watch the Andertons TV video, because Pete and I jam in that one, and it's cool.
Get me like a dirty bluesy sort of.
Yeah, let's go. I'm going to go brown sound. No, I'm going to go brown sound, but with low gain, and just again your nice reverb.
Pete's wife got this for him. She's a lovely lady. It's so much like playing a valve
and a
amp.
little bit. Let's just do a quick sweep of the back so that you guys can see it, but you'll see it's got all the features you'd need on the back for effects loops and USB outputs and headphones and auxiliary ins to you've just seen on the sweep, but all the stuff you would need. So.
Well, they've won the game.
Well,
this will be. I'm just going to say that my prediction is this will be the biggest selling practice / amp of this genre in its field.
I certainly think for a guitar player who's at that stage of the journey, because I know. Look, I know every amp manufacturer will go, ours is the best, and obviously it's Andertons' job to kind of go, well, let's try and put some context behind, where it's good and where it's not so good. But I certainly think that if all you want is basically just a simple to use, affordable, tone, little good sounding amplifier, I would be inclined to say I can't think that there's anything that I'd rather have. I mean, I guess
Did you hear what you just said?
What's that?
There's nothing you'd rather have.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose I'm sort of looking at, again, I'm putting this in balance. I've got a little Yamaha THR10.
Yeah. They're really good.
They're really good, and it's way smaller, and it's a different thing. And again,
Yeah.
I would still want that. And again, if I was a 16-year-old guitar player, and I had no idea what all these different amps did, and I had no idea, and I love the idea of sharing tones in the cloud and all that kind of stuff.
You'd gig that.
You would.
You'd
gig
absolutely gig that.
Though, in fairness, I think most of the new wave of sort of digital amps that I've heard in the last 6, maybe 9 months are all noticeably like, oh, you've really nailed that kind of
All right, go on,
louder
crank
thing.
a bit again then, and give me a bit more.
On a sound like that, Ghost fret it up to end up with,
All
because
right.
it needs some buckers, doesn't it? Ghost fret it up.
All right. It's just great. I mean, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
It just sounds like the real amp.
Well, it's impressive. It's certainly impressive. It's fair play. I knew Boss would get it right. It's like Blues Cube's been cool. Cube's always been cool. They've obviously just invested. Whether you think the amp's good for the money or not is a bit irrelevant, really.
You know what? My only disappointment is that Lee didn't buy me a Katana for the video because I said, "Get me a real Katana," and I'm like,
I was going to say,
he didn't want to do it.
I said that obviously they've just invested like hundreds of thousands of dollars in trying to do the Wazza thing, which I know is like insanely expensive. So they've obviously, I just think they've obviously just gone, look, we've got to get this right. We've got to just nail all of it. But yeah, I was really, they actually even kept this up their sleeve. I first saw this about 4 weeks ago, and right up until then, I had no idea there was even a
Well, I only got
the
the email from Yoshi 2 days ago going, "Hey Rob," I'm like, "Wow, that's absolutely insane."
So it sounds great. So yeah, absolutely. I would absolutely say though, given that it's not due to actually be in the shops until like late October, early November in 2016, I bet you if you want Father Christmas to get you one of these, I would certainly be writing to him soon to make sure that yours is bought early.
If you're a touring musician, definitely get the head as a backup because it's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 from me.
Wow.
Yeah,
anyway,
sure.
I've been the Captain.
See you there. What a ridiculous amp.
It's all over. Here we go.
Oh my God.
Are you serious?
What? All right.
It's all over.
is Rory from the UK. Tell me about Rory.
So he edits videos. Rory's awesome.